We'll begin with an update on the Abba Kyari saga, which many Nigerians can't wait to know about. The federal government has approved a request by the United States for the extradition of suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police Abba Kyari. In July 2021, the Federal Bureau of Investigation indicted Mr. Kyari in a $1.1 million fraud involving UAE-based Nigerian Ramon Abbas, aka Hush Puppy, a self-confessed international fraudster. The suspended police officer denied the allegation. A grand jury on the 29th of April last year filed an indictment against Mr. Abba Kyari with the approval of the U.S. District Court for the Central District of California. The Attorney General of the Federation, Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, had on Tuesday filed an application before the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court in Abuja for Kyari's extradition under the Extradition Act. The Attorney General of the Federation said the application followed a request by the diplomatic representative of the U.S. Embassy in Abuja. In the affidavit filed in support of the extradition application, the AGF stated that he was satisfied that the offense in respect of which Mr. Kyari's surrender is sought is not political nor trivial. Now, for more on this developing story, legal practitioner Liborous Oshomah joins me now on the news. Good to have you join us.
Yeah, good afternoon. My pleasure.
Good afternoon. Before we get to the legal nitty-gritty of this, but let's start with what appears to be like the foot dragging by the federal government. Talk to us about your thought on how long it took for the federal government or the AGF to do this, because it's been since July last year.
Once there is, it is not automatic that by virtue of the Extradition Act, it is not automatic that once a request is made and that the fugitive would immediately be handed over. The federal government also would conduct, they're also empowered to conduct investigation, look into the processes before the Attorney General can apply to the Federal High Court under the Act, requesting that such fugitive should be extradited. And then if the person is allegedly facing trial here, then the Attorney General can, because of the nature of the case, either decide to extradite or decide not to. They also have a discretion in that matter. If it is a Commonwealth country and there is a understanding, once the person is convicted, the Attorney General also can request, can permit such extradition. But in this case, the request was allegedly made in July last year. And then when the news broke of the drug, Abba Kyari's drug investigation with NDLA, a lot of Nigerians felt, oh, look, this was an attempt to cover up the matter. But now the Attorney General has taken the sale of that allegation and had applied to the court for a request. And that had been done. So what that means really for me is that consistency pays off. Nigerians have consistently put the government under pressure to do the right thing. And that this Abba Kyari should be sent to America to face trial. And that secondly, that we do not have confidence in our judicial process. That is a big slap on our judicial process. It is an indictment by Nigerians. And so for me, we should consistently keep, the pressure on government.
The pressure on the government.
The government will do the right thing.
Yes. Let's talk about the law now. What does the law say about extraditing a person who is facing another criminal charge from a government agency?
Yeah, there are two issues. One is if the person is facing trial already. In this case, Abba Kyari is not facing a trial. Is not facing trial. The law says, the Act says, if the person is already studying trial, he shall not be extradited, except there is an agreement, an arrangement between the federal government and the requesting country, especially when the requesting country is a Commonwealth country. So in this case, Abba Kyari is not facing trial. There are allegations against him. There are investigations that are ongoing. And maybe the federal government in its wisdom felt that the case in America came first before this one. And then also because of the diplomatic relationship between America and Nigeria, maybe America and Nigeria would not want to, be seen as harboring, fraudsters in its police, especially if you know the relationship between also the international police and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission.
And this would have also looked bad. I'm sorry to jump in. I think this would have also looked bad for the president's efforts to fight corruption in the country if this wasn't done. But he has charges here.
Yes.
So how does this play out from here? Because he also has charges here filed by the NDLEA or investigations by the NDLEA. He's going to he's going to be extradited to the US. So what happens to the case here? So how does it sort of play out from here?
Yeah, I think you know the case for the NDLEA actually. There is an allegation that those cases are originated from Brazil. The carriers actually emanated from Brazil through Ethiopia and down to Nigeria. That also, has international dimension as regards the offense or crime of drug peddling and interference with exhibits. But be that as it may, there are no statute of limitation to criminal offenses. So if the man had been requested by America before even it started trial, before an offense was established here, and the federal government in its wisdom decides to, extradite him to America to face charges, anytime they feel like prosecuting him for that offense, once investigation is conducted, even if it's 10 years, 100 years, 30 years from now, the federal government can still do that, So I do not think that will affect his extradition to America, because that request actually came before this offense. So we cannot hurriedly use the allegation of the fact that there's an offense here, to also cover up the request, especially.
Thank you so much for talking to us. We'll continue to.
Now that the government has also, we are ready to send him to America since they requested him there. But quickly, I must